Millions of years ago, Earth looked very different from today. The land was wild, full of thick forests, deep rivers, and huge mountains. Life was a constant battle for survival. Animals of every shape and size roamed freely across the land. From giant mammoths to dangerous saber-toothed cats, the world belonged to them. Humans were just learning how to survive among them. But humans back then were not like us today. They had no modern clothes, no technology, and no safe houses. Their bodies and minds were still developing for survival. Life was hard because they had no machines or tools. They depended only on nature and their own strength. Every single day was a test of survival. Still, even with so many challenges, humans never gave up. Their courage and intelligence slowly became their strongest weapons. Step by step, they learned new ways to live. The most important task was to find food every day. Without food, they had no strength to fight or move forward. Hunger was their biggest enemy. They walked through forests, gathering fruits, nuts, and wild plants. They learned which plants were safe and which were poisonous. This knowledge saved their lives. But plants were not always enough, so they began hunting animals. At first, they used only sticks and stones. It was dangerous, but it gave them meat for strength. Hunting was risky because animals were much stronger and faster. One wrong move could cost them their lives. Yet, they learned to hunt in groups to stay safe. Working together made them powerful. They trapped animals, shared food, and protected each other. This teamwork was the beginning of human society. One discovery changed everything: fire. At first, they only saw it when lightning struck trees or volcanoes erupted. It was powerful, scary, and mysterious. At first, humans were afraid of fire, but soon they realized it could keep them warm and safe. Slowly, their fear turned into curiosity. They studied fire, watching how it burned wood and spread heat. They saw how it scared away wild animals at night. Fire became their shield against danger. Over time, they learned to create fire by striking stones together. This was a turning point in human history. Now they had fire whenever they needed it. With fire, nights became brighter and safer. Families gathered around flames for warmth and comfort. It gave them hope in the darkest times. Fire allowed them to cook raw meat. This made food easier to chew, tastier, and healthier. Slowly, their bodies grew stronger. Cooked food gave them more energy for hunting and traveling. It also reduced sickness from raw meat. Fire became the heart of their daily life. Beyond food, fire gave courage. Even in storms or cold nights, fire was their friend. It kept away fear and gave them strength. They also used fire to hunt, burning bushes to trap animals. This made catching food easier. Step by step, they became smarter survivors. Truly, fire was the first big step toward progress. It was not just survival, it was power. Humans had finally gained control over nature. The next important step was making tools. At first, they picked up sharp stones to cut meat. This was the beginning of invention. Slowly, they shaped stones into sharper edges. These became knives, axes, and scrapers. Simple tools made big changes in their lives. They made wooden spears with stone tips for hunting. With better weapons, they could kill bigger animals. This gave them more food and skin for clothing. Stone axes helped them break wooden bones. Now they could build shelters, prepare food, and defend themselves better. Tools became their new strength. Tools gave humans power over their surroundings. They could cut, build, and shape the world around them. This was the start of human creativity. But even with tools, they needed safe shelter. The open land was too dangerous at night. Wild animals could attack at any moment. Many humans found safety inside caves. The hard walls protected them from wind, rain, and predators. Caves became their first homes. Others built small huts from branches, mud, and leaves. These simple shelters kept them safe during travel. Step by step, humans learned to build. Shelters gave protection during storms and cold nights. For the first time, humans had a place to rest. This made their lives a little easier. Inside caves, humans started something amazing art. They painted pictures of animals and hunting scenes on walls. These were not just drawings, but stories of survival. Cave paintings showed mammoths, deer, and hunters with spears. They told us what life looked like thousands of years ago. These were the first human records. The paintings were more than decoration. They were a way to share knowledge and teach the young. They showed bravery, fear, and daily struggles. This was the first step toward imagination. Humans could now express feelings and experiences through art. They were no longer only survivors, they were thinkers. From art, the idea of communication grew stronger. Humans began using sounds and gestures to share ideas. Slowly, this developed into simple words. Words made planning hunts easier. They could warn each other of danger and share stories. Language connected them in powerful ways. Communication turned groups into families and families into tribes. Together, they were stronger than ever. This was the birth of human society. Step by step, they discovered farming. Instead of only hunting and gathering, they learned to grow crops. Farming gave them more food than ever before. They also tamed animals like goats, cows, and sheep. These animals gave milk, meat, and wool. Humans were no longer fully controlled by nature. With farming and animals, they built permanent homes. No longer did they wander every day in search of food. Villages slowly began to rise. Farming also gave them time to think and create. They made better tools, pottery, and stronger houses. Human life was transforming. This was the true turning point of human history. From hunters and gatherers, they became farmers and builders. They had finally begun shaping their own future. The struggle of prehistoric humans was long and hard. Every discovery came with danger and risk. Yet they never stopped learning. From fire to tools, from shelters to farming, each step was a victory. Every success made them stronger than before. Their survival was proof of their courage. These struggles created the foundation of our modern world. Without their bravery, we would not be here today. They carried humanity through the storms of time. And so, the story of prehistoric humans is not just about survival. It is about courage, discovery, and hope. From struggle to strength, they shaped the world we live in today.